Hello. Welcome to the Life and Truth podcast. My name is Jonathan Obisi, and as always, I'm excited to have you tuning and listening. Today, we're going to be talking about a very special topic, and it is titled In Your 20s. Here are 5 tips to improve your financial life. Right? So on the last episode, I shared on the 5 best investments that you can make in your 20s. And if you haven't listened to that, I'll encourage you to please just, listen to that before listening to this. I'll put the description, just here so you can just follow and listen to the previous episode. Now, without further ado, this is the topic of today. In your 20s, here are 5 tips to improve your financial life. But just one more thing, if this is the first time you're coming in podcast, I encourage you to go to all of my social media accounts, Jonathan Obisi, and also do visit my website, jonathanobisi.com. You'll be able to listen to all the previous episodes, and I so believe it's going to be a tremendous blessing to you. So to the topic of today again, in your 20s, here are the 5 tips to improve your financial life. Now, if you go just around the street, you don't even need to go far, probably just your environment where you stay and all of that. If you just ask people, if they want to be financially free, the average person is going to tell you that yes, I want to be financially free. But then if you begin to ask further, then you discover that they're actually not doing anything that can lead them to financial freedom. Now, if you're in your 20s, you're lucky. If you're listening to this and you're in 20s, you're lucky because your 20s give you the opportunity. In your 20s, you have the opportunity to fail fast. Fail fast and fail forward. Try out things. If you fail, you have time to recover and all of that. Well, I'm going to be talking more about that. But you see, it is no news that people struggle financially. Whether young people, old people, elderly people, and all of that, people struggle financially. Just a few have been able to learn about, finance, and then they've been able to learn about investing, and they've, crossed that line where money is no more a problem. And if you're in your 20s, this is the best time for you to start learning about investment and also starting to invest, early. So 5 tips to improve your financial life. Number 1 thing you must do is to improve your skills. You must improve your skills. We live in a skill-based world. In the last episode, I also emphasized this. You must improve your skills. What do you have? What can you trade? What skills do you have that you can trade and earn money because of that skill, with that skill, right? You must improve your skill. We live in a world where you shouldn't be stereotyped. You shouldn't be locked in the sense that, for example, let's say you go to university, you studied something, and then if you're passionate about what you studied, fine, pursue it, develop that skill, continue to learn and continue to grow. If you're not passionate about that, why not develop a new skill? But you must know that you must be dedicated. It's not, it doesn't come, nothing good comes easy. So if you're going to learn new skill, that it's going to take time, and you must be super dedicated to it if you're going to make sense of whatever it is you're doing. So you must improve your skills. That's number 1 thing. Number 2, you must increase your income and earnings. If you're going to improve your financial life in your 20s, you have to increase your income and your earnings, and that can only come about when you've developed your skill, you've refined your skill, and you're super good in what you're doing, and your skill is tradable, because you can be developing a skill that is not tradable, that nobody is willing to pay you money for it, and that would be a waste of time. So you must develop a skill that is tradable, that can earn you money, and that can increase your potential for earning. So you must be on the lookout for, okay, yes, I have this interest. How, who is willing to pay me for this skill, right? What are they paying for people with this type of skill, right? You must have that understanding. You must have the knowledge. Where is this skill, needed? Which industry? What industry? You must ask a lot of questions. When you do that, you'll be able to improve or increase your income and your earnings. Now, when you've increased your income and your earnings, you must also increase your savings, not your spending. Increase your savings. You must learn to save. You must learn to save for the rainy day. You don't just spend everything you earn. So you have a new salary, you want to put the latest shirt, you want to show off the latest shoe, you want to show off the latest bag, as a lady, or you want to buy the latest car simply because your earnings have increased. No, you must increase your savings. You should only spend after you have saved. I'm going to come to the point, to the place of to the point about investment. But first, before you begin to invest, you must learn to save. If you don't learn to save, you cannot invest, because if you're spending all that you're earning, you literally have nothing to save and nothing to invest. So you must learn to save, because it's from your savings you begin to invest, right? So you must increase your savings. Don't increase your spending. If your earnings increase your savings. Don't increase your spending. And then you must also learn to invest your savings, right? That's the fourth thing. You must learn to invest your savings. You must learn to take the money that you have in your savings and invest it. An example is this: if you keep let's say just like maybe $100, right, in your bank, and after 1 year, in terms of interest rate, some will give you maybe 1%, 2%. In some other countries, they will even be deducting money from your account and all of that. So by the end of the year, inflation in some countries, in most African countries, for example, grows at about 30%. So by the end of the year, you've lost about 30% of that money. But imagine you took that same money and you invested that money in something that probably is bringing you a return of maybe 15%, 20%, and 30%. In some other countries, it's wonderful because inflation maybe grows at 2%, 5%, and all of that. In some African countries, you invest in high yield investment that give you returns that sort of mitigates the effect of inflation. Well, that's a topic for another day. But what I'm trying to say is this: invest your savings. You must learn to invest your savings. So you don't just have a lot of money, right, in the bank just sitting there and then your money is not working for you. So investing your savings simply means you're saying, hey, money, go and work for me, bring more money for me. Now you have your savings, you take from your savings, you invest some, and of course you keep some for emergency and all of that. And then in your investing, of course, you must diversify, right? So you don't just take your money, all your savings, just take a large chunk of it and just dump in one particular investment because they're going to give you 40%, 50%. No, nobody does that. You must diversify your investment. Investment itself is a risk. So is life, right? So life is also risk, right? You go out daily, you face a lot of hazards, vehicles and all of that. It's risk, but investment is also risk. But at the same time, the higher the risk you take, or the risk you take determines the reward that you get, right? So you must invest. So invest some of your savings, but diversify it. Invest it in different sectors, so when something is wrong with the other one, this other one is probably, the other investment will probably, subsidize or cover your losses in some other investment. So you must diversify your investment. So these are the 5 things that you must do. And then lastly, of course, you improve your life, right? All these things, when you do all these things, at the end of the day, it improves your life. You must invest before you begin to, show off. A lot of people want to show off, want to belong, and all of that. People that they're right, you don't have to do that. You must invest for your future, right? Don't behave, and of course, I have a warning. Don't behave like lottery winners. Lottery winners, will win millions of dollars, and then after 1 year, bam, all the money is gone, right? Millions of dollars, and then they go buy an expensive estate, that they want to live in. Not that you're going to rent it out and all of that. They go buy maybe an expensive, yacht, or begin to go on expensive, private jet trips and things like that. And before you know, they're back to ground zero. Now, these are the 5 tips that you must, sort of implement in your 20s if you want to improve your financial life. So that is it for today, and I also believe that you've been able to pick a thing or two from this. I encourage you to hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so. Hit the share button and share this with as many young people that this will be beneficial to. Thank you so much again for listening, and I look forward to sharing more with you on finance, investing in the episodes to come. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. God bless you, and bye-bye.